launched the marine vertical in February of this year, 2015. And it's not that we have not been playing in the marine space. We've had our aviation business, power conversion, oil and gas, transportation have all been serving the marine space for literally decades. But we had been doing it in a very fragmented fashion. And so the idea with the marine vertical was to have a more, what I'll call a more unified one GE approach to the marketplace. And it makes sense when you think about it from a customer perspective, because a customer is typically thinking about a particular vessel type, whether it's a shipbuilder or whether it's an owner operator. And so by looking at all of our assets within the GE portfolio, we're able to have a more integrated approach in terms of a solution provider. It is a tough cycle, but I think it's important to note that the marine industry has always gone through cycles. So the first thing I think is important to note that we will be coming out of the cycle. And the question then really becomes, what do we do during the down cycle to better prepare for that? So some of the discussions we're having with some of our Korean customers is, how can we become leaner from a cost perspective, both CapEx and OpEx, and so that when we do come out of the down cycle, we'll be in a much better position. So digital marine is all about capturing and harnessing the power of the internet. So when you look at what GE is doing at the industrial level with the San Ramon team, our GE equipment now, and not just GE equipment, but other vendors' equipment, is now equipped with a broad array of sensors and is creating a tremendous amount of data real time that offers us an opportunity to analyze that data and be able to give insights to how the equipment is operating, and most importantly, using software analytics and big data to be able to identify problems in a predictive manner so that we can solve problems when they're small problems before they become operationally disruptive problems. So what I think that means for the Korean shipyards is they need to do a couple things. One, at the vessel level, they need to be thinking about what is the right level of what I'll call sensor proliferation. What are the critical systems that we need to be capturing data on? And then working with a company like GE, preferably, through our Predix platform, so that we can capture that data, analyze it, gain insights, and be able to drive outcomes. And in the marine industry, it's really a couple things. One is reducing non-productive time, using big data to shift from calendar-based maintenance to condition maintenance. And I'd say the third area is that there's a real skill shortage in the marine industry. So with a lot of expertise will be retiring in the next 5 to 10 years, being able to have more intelligence on board vessels through software analytics can greatly help abate the risk associated with that labor leaving. So one of our key products is C-Stream Insight. And what Insight allows you to do is to be able to look at a vessel and be able to look at all of its critical systems, understand how they're performing. And then the idea of Insight is being able to compare the performance of that particular vessel with a data set that includes like vessels, so peer vessels, and being able to look through that data to understand what may be some experiences or problems that those peer vessels have had, and be able to leverage that data through insights that will say, hey, this particular subsystem may be developing a problem. Here's the things that you need to do to further investigate that and to remedy that before it becomes a bigger problem. So the GE store, I think, gives us an opportunity to grow our business faster in the marine industry. It's an industry where our share is, depending on what particular vessel type you're talking about, anywhere from 5 to 8% to 70%. And where we're not big, I think we can use the GE store to expand our footprint. So some of those areas might be, as an example, we're not real big in the prime mover space, and by leveraging our aviation gas turbine technology through a combined cycle or COGES configuration, that's something that we think we can build a much bigger footprint within the prime mover segment of the marine space. But it's not limited to aviation. There's a lot of money, R&D, being invested in applications that are land-based. As an example, power electronics, such as silicon carbide power electronics, that can be easily marinized to provide smaller, more efficient drives for the marine space. And so there's really a myriad of opportunities within the GE store that we can use to reach in there and to look at building out our solutions to better serve our marine customers.